Good morning. Welcome back for part 2 of the Monday Market Report for the week ending February 3rd, 2019. And we are going to get started with Jefferson Nickels today. And we're going to have a large selection of coins to talk about today. We got 4 notables that sold through great collections this past weekend, along with the one coin, and you're going to want to wait all the way through to the end of the video, where I'm going to talk about this coin being the biggest bargain of the weekend, bar none. And it's these type of coins that serve as kind of an opportunity, a buying and flipping opportunity for those that like that sort of thing. So stay tuned for that toward the end of the video. But before we get started, as always, the best way you can support my channel is like, share, subscribe, hitting that like button, and throw in a comment if you so desire. So, what exactly sold for a good amount of money in the Jefferson nickel world? Well, we have a few notable coins here. The first one, as you can see on screen, is a 1962D Jefferson nickel. This one graded out PCGS mid-state 65 full steps. So it's kind of that middle of the road grade for the BU condition coins. This one sold for $2,307.24. Now let me go ahead and touch upon this coin real quick. So the grade isn't going to exactly knock your socks off. All right, as you can see from the coin, it looks like a standardized type BU coin. You know, it's not flashy. It doesn't have the type of luster that makes you stand up and salute to it. But I will say this, I have a love-hate relationship with the 1960s particular decade of Jefferson nickels. I've searched scores of BU rolls from this particular decade, and I could say unequivocally that between 1961, 62, 63, and 64 in the Denver minted coins, these are probably the 4 toughest dates to find in full steps. So, you're asking yourself, is it worth the money to get this coin at $2,300? Well, yeah, it commanded all the money for this particular grade. Is the amount of money that it sold for a little soft? Probably, seeing as how there are too many higher graded coins of this particular date in existence. So, the second coin on the list, and by the way, this is in no particular order, is a 1959D Jefferson nickel. Again, you know, another extremely tough date to find with full steps. This one was awarded as a PCGS mid-state 66 plus full steps coin. This one was the lower end of the totem pole on my list at $1,743.75. Don't get me wrong, it's a remarkable coin. I like the grade on this particular piece. Anything above 66 full steps in the later 50s and early 60s Jefferson nickels, it is just a needle in a haystack type find. So, if you have some of these BU rolls or coins, you know, maybe in an old album that's been passed down to you, and you happen to notice some really nice mid to later 50s, early 60s coins, you might want to flip that coin around, look under a magnifying glass, and see if you have some pretty nice sharply struck steps on these coins. The US Mint wasn't known for taking care of their dies throughout this 10-year period, so they like to continue to reuse the same dies. They don't re-engrave them, they don't work on them to make them pretty or anything like that. It was just that time in coinage, U.S. coinage rather, that their quality control just wasn't as great on these particular dates. And I could say this 59D, it's a tough grade, and you know what, this one probably sold for a little bit less than what a normal market would command for it. I would say probably 5 years ago, this would have been a $3,000 coin, real easy. So someone might have gotten a bargain on this one, who knows. So, coming up next, of course I have to throw a proof coin in the mix, and this one is an absolute stunner. take a look at this 1951 Jefferson nickel. Of course, this is only found in the super elusive proof sets during that time period. This one graded PCGS Proof 68 Deep Cameo. Holy smokes, look at the frosty devices on this coin. When you have a great pairing of high white frost on all of the design details and that super mirrored black fields like this coin exhibits, you have the makings of something that's really special. So how much did it exactly sell for? Well, I'm happy to say this one sold for $4,725. Of course, it's not a cheap coin. The proof set in itself is not a cheap proof set. There were only so many made of this particular date. But to find one in deep cameo, which by the way, for 51, it wasn't exactly the easiest task. There are quite a few cameo coins, which have partial frost on a lot of the devices, but to find one as deep and as truly original as this example is absolutely tough to find. So this is the number 3 coin on the list. The 4th coin on the list, this one is kind of funny, but I'm happy to bring it up because it has a few kind of like call it numismatic fingerprints, so to speak. I know it sounds kind of too elaborate, but I'll explain here in a minute. This is a 1954D Jefferson nickel that graded PCGS Mint State 66 plus, and this one as well has full steps. So I could say that this one sold for $3,450.38, which is an absolute phenomenal sale for this particular date. Mid-50s, it's a little bit tougher to find some of those full steps on there. Not quite late 50s, early 60s, but it's still just as tough to find one as clean as this one with sharply struck reverse showing those pronounced steps on Monticello. This one is phenomenal. So what did I mean by numismatic fingerprint? Well, on the front of the coin, if you looked at toward the 12 o'clock position toward the top of the coin, you'll see that it has a pretty significant die gouge. That's pretty interesting, you see these on occasion on coins, okay, and this is just a result of a mint employee maybe going a little heavy-handed on fixing up the dies, so that way they're back to being nice and presentable for the next batch of coins that they're going to strike. So, they went a little heavy-handed with a file or, some sort of tool, or maybe they dropped the tool on the die, which left an impression, and you get something that's pretty neat. Now, on the reverse of the coin, okay, it tells a different type of story. Take a look at the mint mark. It looks so out of whack and cattywampus on this coin. It's so close to the rim, it's tilted a little bit. But believe it or not, for this time period, this was within the mint tolerances, okay, for the specs on where these mint marks are to be placed. So it wasn't that big a deal. But I've never found another 54D, circulated or otherwise, that had a mint mark that looked quite like this. So this was a pretty interesting auction, and it sold for quite a bit of money, and it has a lot of personality to boot. So there is one particular bargain in the whole bunch, and I would say that really astute collectors, guys that are pretty well versed and experienced in coin grading and being able to spot something that they could, possibly flip and make money off of. This is a 1951D Jefferson nickel. This one was graded, however, in an NGC Mid-State 66 holder, and this one has 5 full steps. So you guys may not know, but these coins exhibit 6 full steps. So what NGC likes to do is they like to designate 2 different types of strike profiles, a 5 full steps and a 6 full steps, which is what PCGS would classify as full steps. So how much did this coin sell for? Well, it only sold for $123.75. Why is that significant? Well, this is a 51D. It is bar none one of the tougher dates to find with full steps. So to find one with 5 fully characterized designated steps that are sharp, it's a coin that should be an easy buy. And those experienced collectors I was talking about a minute ago, well, they like to buy these type of coins, crack them out of the slab, and resubmit them to a company like PCGS, where, if it comes back as full steps, this is a coin that could sell between $1,500 and $2,000 really easily. Again, it's all about the date. It's all about the strike. That's what makes all these coins on the list extremely valuable. So I encourage you, if you guys are looking through your nickels, and you come across coins that look as beautiful and as sharply struck as these, that you might have something that you can make some money on. So in general, based off of the pricing that we saw today, how is the market? Well, I could say the market is down, just like on the Lincoln cents that I profiled on the video before this one. The Jefferson nickels have kind of valleyed, they've kind of hit their bottom on this, and there might be some adjustments still out there. It's kind of hard to say, but once the market turns around, which is usually which coincides with like a recession or a down economy, or maybe just a stock market being a little bit down, you're going to see these coins correct in a good way, in an upward trend. Okay, that 51D, for example, one day will be worth $500 again if it's not cracked out of the slab and resubmitted. So that's going to conclude today's part 2 Jefferson Nickels Monday Market Report for the week ending February 3rd, 2019. As always, I appreciate you guys coming in and taking a look and seeing what's hot in the nickel world, especially the modern stuff. It's always exciting to see these type of coins sell for so much money. And as always, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, subscribe, hit the like button. That's the best way you can support my channel. As always, you guys keep hunting, discovering together, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.